You coming? This guy, he's got to help. This is my boy Chip the Ripper. He's my bestest good friend. He sits and watches horror movies with me, barks at all the noise and such. So he's well versed in the subjects. A few years ago, I think 2022, maybe 2021, I forget. I started watching Halloween movies in order and doing these silly goosery videos. And at the time, I didn't want to watch Rob Zombie's Halloween. And I was a little over Rob Zombie's way of making movies. So I didn't want to watch them at the time. But this year, I said, you know what? I need to go back and watch those. And I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 on stunning DVD on a tube TV, so it looked absolutely amazing. And you know what? I had a problem originally with it in that it's like, I don't need to know Michael Myers' backstory. And you know, this is 15 years ago when we're all full of heat when we're younger and we have hard opinions on things. And I took umbrage with, it's like, I don't want to know Michael Myers' backstory. It's creepier that he is just this kid who snapped and started killing people, and then he's just pure evil. That's all I need. He's a man behind the mask. He's a faceless killing machine. But as I get older and I become more understanding and patient, I realize Rob Zombie's Halloween is Rob Zombie's Halloween, and John Carpenter's Halloween is John Carpenter's Halloween. They can be different. So it's actually, you know, I actually enjoyed the experience more than I did, you know, probably about 10 years ago. I just couldn't watch Rob Zombie movies anymore because, you know, they have their problems. There's a lot of I'll be to the point. There's a lot of rednecks yelling at each other in his movies. And sure enough, there's a bunch of you know, people yelling at each other. Sherry Moon Zombie's Michael's mom, and you know, William Forsythe is his stepdad, and you know, they yell a lot, and it's like, I don't need that much yelling. But 15 years later, I understand Rob Zombie is doing Rob Zombie things, and just go with it. Be a little calmer, cooler, and collected about this stuff. And sure enough, when you watch that movie, you appreciate I love Rob Zombie because he uses 70s, 80s character actors, and they're played serious. It's not hokey. It's not cheesy. He puts character actors in roles where they're serious, like Danny Trejo as the guard that kind of as Michael as a kid kind of tries to console him. You know, bad things happen. And like so I appreciate his use of people I grew up watching in 70s horror and 80s horror. So A+ on that. Ken Foree, no, I shouldn't say it, because Ken Foree's character is ridiculous in the best ways possible, and man, he kills it. A+, A++++++. Awesome performance of Ken Foree as the trucker. I forget how good that scene is. That's probably the funniest scene in any Halloween movie, and these aren't supposed to be horror, but he kills it. Ken Foree can do no wrong. But so let's get back to Michael, seeing how Michael is Michael. And, they give Michael, which it's funny because it's, Michael's reason for being evil is, you can see why it is. It's like, this kid grew up in a messed up house. His mom, nothing against performative arts, but like, it's obviously an unstable situation with a bad father figure, no father figure, bad stepfather, mother having to work late, latchkey type of stuff. So yeah, you see that he does the classic. And these things are like mental health stuff. Serious stuff. Uh, the things that Michael does in those movies are very common triggers to people being disturbed and being violent to others. So A plus to Rob Zombie for getting that stuff right. Killing animals, Dahmer, taxidermy, Dahmer, being violent with school age people, common occurrence. So yeah, A plus on Rob Zombie's vision of what Michael Myers is. Again, I'm going on the thesis statement is, this is Rob Zombie's Halloween. This is not John Carpenter's Halloween. So you have Michael be Michael. He snaps. It finally happens. He snaps, and he starts killing and stuff like that. And then you get a little more Loomis, Malcolm McDowell, again, a fine character actor, being Loomis in this, perfectly awesome. I love how, especially in our the 70s plus, where new agey, every psychologist, psychiatrist writes a book. That's a big thing. Every serial killer lawyer writes a book, and good for them. Tell that story. But it does a good job, and I do appreciate the town folk being mad at him for taking a serious subject that affects them, and not being very appreciative of Loomis. So layering the plot. So we have that. Michael gets out, goes nuts, and just starts killing people. And then it's like fast forward, like it's Rob Zombie. So it's a lot of lots of killing, lots of quick cutting, lots of good amount of gore. He's a traditionalist in the horror should have nudity type of thing, and there's not a lot of that nowadays. So appreciation for that is always nice. It's not necessary, but it is part of the look he's going for. His movies are definitely. He's a child of the 70s, and that's what you would have seen in the 70s, so that's what you get in his movies. Exploitive, gore, nudity, over-the-topness, amazing character actors, and violence. Awesome. What more could a growing boy ask for? But in the end, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween more now than I did when I first saw it. I saw it in theaters. I remember me, my friend Tim and Jeremy, we went, we piled up in Tim's CJ5, I believe, and went to the theater and saw it in the afternoon, the first time you could see it. And we went home, and the first thing we did, as in all Rob Zombie movies, got the soundtrack. The soundtrack is amazing. Rob Zombie. If I were making a horror movie, especially a set in the 70s horror movie, I would go and talk to Rob Zombie and say, I need you to consult on the music choices. I love 70s music. I love 70s metal because it's the roots of metal. I love 70s rock. I love 70s uh, jazz rock. I love 70s music is great. Everybody overlooks the 70s, and they got to realize that the 2020s are the 70s, and it's uh, it's not the coolest time in the world in the sense of partying in the streets and whatnot, but we are living in the 70s right now in the best ways possible. We just need to get some good music. We'll bring the 70s music to 2020. Look at all that yacht rock that's popular. Yacht rock is awesome. But I digress. So Rob Zombie can nail a soundtrack, and it's super good in this. The use of the Halloween uh, original score by John Carpenter is pointed and has that, kind of popular in the 2000s, that out of tune piano under it rather than full synth. But I dug it. It's a good use. It's different. Definitely plays into the griminess that is a Rob Zombie movie. So yeah. Um, is it the best Halloween? No. Is it the worst Halloween? By far, no. There's some hot opinions nowadays about what the worst one is, and a lot of people say N. But I will still say that 5 or 6 or probably Resurrection. Resurrection has to be. Although those has Busta Rhymes in it. Although Busta Rhymes kills the original Michael Myers in that timeline, so that's a little strange. But is it? It's better than most of the Halloween movies. And I know it's not rated very highly, but in my eye, pretty good movie. Give it a watch again. I'm interested to watch his Halloween 2 now because I saw it once in theaters, and I think I watched it on DVD once after I bought it after it came out, and I haven't seen it since, and I forget most of it. I know there's an extended dream sequence with Nights in White Satin, and Nights in White Satin is an amazing song, so I'm excited to see that again. But anyway, thank you for putting up with my silly goosery on the subject, and see you guys next time when I watch Halloween 2.